Hello everyone and welcome to Signs and Wonders. If you're new here, please consider subscribing as we have lots more awesome content like live shows, debates, end times prophecy, top 10 lists, and more. Tonight we count down 10 strange, ominous, shocking, and bizarre weather phenomenana that might leave you scratching your head. I'll do my best to put them in order from weird to weirdest, but you guys let me know which ones you think should have been number one, okay, in the comments. Yeah. You'll hardly believe these strange and unusual weather phenomenons are actually real. Some of them you'll be familiar with, while others will leave you amazed. Number 10. Frost flowers in the Arctic Ocean. In the dead of winter, blooming flowers can be found in the Arctic Ocean. These aren't garden variety azaleas, of course, but so-called frost flowers. These frost flowers in the Arctic Ocean form from imperfections on the surface of the ice in the sub-zero temperatures, normally around the minus 20 degrees Celsius mark. The spikes have been found to contain microorganisms, making them temporary miniature ecosystems similar to coral reefs. The frost flowers grow on new sea ice. When the cold, moist air above becomes saturated, frost forms on imperfections on the icy surface. Frost on these imperfections seeds the flowers, which rise as they wick moisture from the frozen surface, capturing salt and marine bacteria as they grow. Number 9. Sundogs. And no, not this type of sundog. This type of sundog. This sundog is a member of the family of halos, caused by the refraction of sunlight by ice crystals in the atmosphere. Sundogs typically appear as a pair of subtly colored patches of light around 22 degrees to the left and right of the sun, and at the same altitude above the horizon as the sun. They can be seen anywhere in the world during any season, but are not always obvious or bright. Sundogs are best seen and most conspicuous when the sun is near the horizon. Sundogs are commonly caused by the refraction and scattering of light from plate-shaped hexagonal ice crystals, either suspended in high and cold clouds or drifting in freezing moist air at low levels as diamond dust. The crystals act as prisms, bending the light rays passing through them with a minimum deflection of 22 degrees. As the crystals gently float downwards with their large hexagonal faces almost horizontal, sunlight is refracted horizontally and sundogs are seen to the left and right of the sun. Larger plates wobble more and thus produce taller sundogs. Number 8. Lenticular Clouds. Lenticular clouds, or in the Latin, lenticularis, are stationary clouds that form mostly in the troposphere, typically in perpendicular alignment to the wind direction. They are often comparable in appearance to a lens or saucer. As air travels along the surface of the Earth, obstructions are often encountered. These include both natural features of the Earth, such as mountains or hills, and artificial structures, such as buildings and other structures. These disrupt the flow of air into eddies, or areas of turbulence influenced by these obstructions. When moist, stable air flows over a large eddy, such as those caused by mountains, a series of large-scale standing waves form on the leeward side of the mountain. If the temperature at the crest of the wave drops below the local dew point, moisture in the air may condense to form lenticular clouds. Number 7. Moonbows. A moonbow is also commonly referred to as a lunar rainbow. A moonbow is a rare natural atmospheric phenomena that occurs when the moon's light is reflected and refracted off water droplets in the air. Moonbows are much fainter than rainbows made by the sun and often appear to be white. This is due to the smaller amount of light reflected from the surface of the moon. The light from the moon is usually too faint to be perceived by the receptors in the human eye. It is difficult for the human eye to discern colors in a moonbow. However, the colors in a moonbow do appear in long exposure photographs. A bright moon near to its brightest phase, known as a full moon, is needed in order to have a chance at seeing a moonbow. It must be also raining opposite the moon. The sky must be dark and the moon must be very low in the sky, about 42 degrees above the horizon. All of these put together make seeing the rare and elusive moonbow a very special and rare thing indeed. Just kidding. There are some locations around the world where moonbows occur more frequently though. Most of these locations tend to have waterfalls, which create layers of mist in the air. Some of these locations include Yosemite, I think that's how you say it, Yosemite? Sorry, I'm not American. National Park in California, and Cumberland Falls State Resort Park in Kentucky. And Victoria Falls on the border. Number 6, Supercells. A supercell is a thunderstorm taken to another level, and it's normally classed as a supercell when there is the presence of persistently rotating updraft. Overall, a supercell is the least common of all thunderstorms, and they have the potential to do the most damage. Supercells are storms, usually but not necessarily thunderstorms, that contain updrafts that rotate about a vertical axis. This rotation is derived from shear in the environmental wind field surrounding the storm as it begins to grow. Shear being the change in wind direction and or speed with height. Supercells often produce damaging wind, large hail, and tornadoes, and most strong to violent tornadoes are associated with supercells. Supercells differ from ordinary thunderstorms in that the rotation of their updraft enables them to overcome the self-limiting mechanisms that bring demise to regular storms. Once formed, a supercell may perpetuate itself for an unpressible length of time, even upon encountering an environment that is hostile to the development of new storms. Number 5. Volcanic lightning. Volcanic lightning is an electrical discharge caused by a volcanic eruption, rather than from an ordinary thunderstorm. Volcanic lightning arises from colliding fragmenting particles of volcanic ash, and sometimes ice, which generates static electricity within the volcanic plume. Volcanic eruptions have been referred to as dirty thunderstorms due to moist convection and ice formation. Them dirty thunderstorms. But unlike ordinary thunderstorms, these dirty ones, volcanic lightning, can also occur before any ice crystals have formed in the ash cloud. The earliest recorded observations of volcanic lightning are from Pliny the Younger, describing the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. Number 4. Brinicle. First discovered in the 1960s, a brinicle forms below sea ice when a flow of very cold saline water, which is salt water, meets an area of ocean water, forming the equivalent of an underwater icicle. You're probably not ever going to go diving in the waters off Antarctica or in the Arctic near the North Pole, but if you're crazy enough to do it, then there's a chance that you may come upon one of these more bizarre sights in nature. A brinicle or brinicle. Basically, a brinicle, sometimes called a sea stalactite, is a hollow tube that projects downward from the ice pack on the ocean surface. Imagine an icicle hanging on your house's roof gutter, except that a brinicle's length may be measured in feet instead of inches, and instead of rainwater, it's formed from a super salty seawater solution called brine. As an article in Technology Review explains, brinicles form because when seawater along the ocean surface freezes to form ice, it exudes salt. That increases the salinity of nearby water, which in turn lowers its freezing point so that it stays liquid even though it's really, really cold. In a way, this is like the opposite of the reverse osmosis process that distillation plants use to turn seawater into drinking water. Pockets of that brine can get trapped inside the ice pack. Number 3. Waterspouts. Waterspouts fall into two categories: fair weather waterspouts and tornadic waterspouts. Tornadic waterspouts are tornadoes that form over water or move from land to water. They have the same characteristics as a land tornado. They are associated with severe thunderstorms and are often accompanied by high winds and seas, large hail, and frequent dangerous lightning. Fair weather waterspouts usually form along the dark, flat base of a line of developing cumulus clouds. This type of waterspout is generally not associated with thunderstorms. While tornadic waterspouts develop downward in a thunderstorm, a fair weather waterspout develops on the surface of water and works its way upward. By the time the funnel is visible, a fair weather waterspout is near maturity. Number 2. Fire whirls. Also known as fire devils or fire tornadoes, this terrifying looking weather forms when intense rising heat and strong winds combine together. Sometimes they can form a tornado-like structure that suck up burning debris and gases, but luckily for us, they rarely form full-blown tornadoes. A fire whirl consists of a burning core and a rotating pocket of air. A fire whirl can reach up to 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,090 degrees Celsius. Fire whirls become frequent when a wildfire or especially firestorm creates its own wind, which can spawn large vortices. Even bonfires often have whirls on a smaller scale, and tiny fire whirls have been generated by very small fires in laboratories. Most of the largest fire whirls are spawned from wildfires. They form when a warm updraft and convergence from the wildfire are present. They are usually 10 to 50 meters tall, a few meters wide, and last only a few minutes. Some, however, can be more than 1 kilometer tall, contain wind speeds over 200 kilometers per hour, which is over 120 miles per hour, and persist for more than 20 minutes. Wow. These intense fire whirls can uproot trees that are 15 meters tall or more. Number 1. The mysterious Sprites. Sprites are phenomena that occur above the clouds with thunder and lightning conditions 50 to 90 kilometers above the Earth. Mysterious, unknown, and invisible for most of us, but visible from high-flying airplanes and from manned spacecrafts. However, what are these phenomena? Many scientists have wondered and sought answers to these questions ever since the first observations. Some of these questions may now be being answered through a Danish-Norwegian instrument package outside the International Space Station. Theories suggest sprites are large-scale electrical discharges, which occur high above a thunderstorm cloud or cumulus, giving rise to quite a varied range of visual shapes. They are triggered by the discharges of positive lightning between the thundercloud and the ground. The phenomena were named after the mischievous sprite, is an acronym for Statospheric Mesospheric Petrobracious, resulting from intense thunderstorm electrification. They normally are colored reddish-orange or greenish-blue, with hanging tendrils below and arcing branches above. Beautiful and almost lifelike, they can also be preceded by a reddish halo. They often occur in clusters, lying 50 to 90 kilometers above the Earth's surface and usually only lasting about 2 milliseconds. Sprites have since been witnessed thousands of times. Sprites have been held responsible for otherwise unexplained accidents involving high-altitude vehicular operations above thunderstorms. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know your number 1 choice in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing so you can be notified of any new videos or upcoming live events. Until next time, thanks for watching Signs and Wonders.